Hello guys, I hope that you are all really well and welcome back to another video. So as per the title, today's video is going to be a little bit different from me, and I'm going to be doing a gluten-free and dairy-free haul. So I'm doing this since I am dairy intolerant and gluten intolerant. My husband has also just been diagnosed as dairy intolerant, which makes life a little bit easier for me, harder for him, but a bit easier in terms of cooking family meals, etc. But I'm always asked over on Instagram for recommendations of what sort of gluten-free alternatives or dairy-free alternatives that I use. So I thought that I would just do one big haul of all of the things that I would really recommend. It's a lot of trial and error when you're doing gluten-free and dairy-free. It's very much to taste as well. I don't really like a lot of the gluten-free breads, so I kind of avoid most of those, but you might have found one that you really like. So do let me know in the comments below if there's anything that I have missed out of this video that you would like to recommend to me or to my viewers, as that would be really helpful. I'm going to jump straight in and get on with it because I've got quite a lot of things to show you. I know a lot of you as well are doing veganuary, or you are trying to eat more plant-based this year, so a lot of these things will be really suitable for that. Obviously not the gluten-free stuff as such, but definitely the dairy-free things, as most of those will be vegan. So do stay tuned if you're doing veganuary or you're looking to be a bit more plant-based this year. The first thing that I wanted to say before I show you any of these things is that I am not a professional, I'm not a dietitian either. Little disclaimer here, just in case you try these things and you find that there's gluten in them or something like that, or you have a reaction. But these are the things that are like my safe foods. So not everything here is going to be suitable for celiacs, because some of the things that I'm going to show you aren't like certified gluten-free, but they don't actually contain gluten directly. I just wanted to let you know that before I start the video. So I think the top question for people when they are starting to go dairy-free, plant-based or vegan is, what can they use instead of milk? So I've actually cut out cow's milk completely. I used to have cow's milk, probably must be about 18 months ago I stopped having it, before I was actually diagnosed as dairy intolerant, because I thought it would probably be affecting my skin, which it was, but I was still eating things like cheese and eating things with dairy in. But I cut out cow's milk and I introduced soya milk. Well, now I can't really have too much soya, so I don't drink soya milk. There's also quite a lot of links with soya and your skin as well, so probably best to not switch to soya milk if you're struggling with like hormonal acne. So I have found that I am absolutely fine with Oatly oat milk. I know that some people that are gluten-free and celiac struggle with oat milk because they don't 100% know if the oats are gluten-free, and that's because oats themselves are gluten-free, but they could be produced in a factory where gluten, barley, rye, wheat is all handled, so they can't certify that it's gluten-free. I believe there is an oat milk that's certified gluten-free. I'll try and link it below if I can, but somebody recommended it to me the other day, but you can't buy it in my local supermarket. But I have found that with a very mild gluten intolerance that I can tolerate oat milk. This one from Oatly is the barista edition, which is really creamy, and it's the closest thing I have found to semi-skimmed or whole milk. It's amazing in tea. It doesn't split or leave any kind of like grainy bits in the tea. It tastes amazing in porridge, and I just can't get enough of it. The only downside is it's pretty expensive. My local shop is Sainsbury's, which obviously isn't the most cheapest supermarket anyway, but I think this is around £1.80 at the moment, and we go through about 3 or 4 of these a week. I would also like to recommend almond milk and hazelnut milk if you don't have a problem with nuts, but my favourite is cashew milk. I just think cashew milk's that little bit creamier. You can use it in tea or coffee, which is really, really tasty. You can use it in porridge. I tend to use cashew milk in porridge instead of the oat milk, because the oat milk can be a little bit richer, plus the cashew milk's a little bit cheaper. So I have porridge pretty much every day. So as we were talking about porridge, I thought I would show you the oats that I've been using. So you can use normal oats if you don't have a very strong gluten intolerance like me, but I wanted to show you the completely gluten-free option. These are from Sainsbury's Free From range, where a lot of this stuff comes from, mainly because it's my local supermarket, but also I just think it does a really good Free From range. So these are gluten-free and milk-free. They're by Sainsbury's. They're just their pure porridge oats. I think that they are just the same as any other oats I've tried. They taste exactly the same as the, what's it called, Quaker oat Oats gluten-free version, which you'll find in the 3-foot mile as well, but they are a lot cheaper. Now, I am not a massive fan of yogurt, so things like yogurt I haven't really missed at all because I just didn't really have it anyway, but my husband really likes yogurt and he has it after every meal to stop him eating chocolate. So I thought I'd recommend this one. This is by Alpro and it's just a vanilla yogurt. It's made with soya, so obviously you can only have this if you don't have an issue with soy. If you do have an issue with soy, then the Coconut Collaborative does a really nice yogurt alternative. It's quite coconutty, but it's really tasty. Now, I, like most people, do like to have something sweet after my dinner, and I try to avoid chocolate anyway, but obviously I'm avoiding it because I am dairy free. But I wanted to show you these little pots of amazingness. So these are so tasty. They're from the Coconut Collaborative, so they're made of coconuts and fruits and natural things. These are the banoffee pots, which are new, and they are just so good. They're so sweet and lovely, and you don't notice that they're dairy free at all, and they're just in these little tiny pots, so you're not having anything too massive after your dinner, but it's still a little sweet treat. And they also do chocolate ones and salted caramel ones. I don't have the main packet for these ones, but these are the chocolate ones, and everyone in my family loves these. So another really easy dairy swap out is butter, and I think it's really easy because there's so many dairy-free butters available, and actually it tastes exactly the same. You wouldn't really know any difference. We use the brand Pure, and this is the sunflower one. I normally buy the olive one, but the sunflower one was on offer, so I thought I would give it a go. I'm doing some baking later today as well, so I will probably use most of this in that. But yeah, it just tastes exactly the same. I use it for Harry stuff now as well. There's really no need to buy normal dairy packed butter because we can just all have this one. Like I said, it's dairy free, gluten free. It's also lactose free, this one, if you have a problem with lactose, and it is actually certified vegan as well. Now onto one of the bigger sections of this video, and this is probably the thing that most people that are going dairy free miss the most and crave the most, and it's chocolate. I don't know many people that don't like chocolate, and I was devastated when I found out that I couldn't have dairy anymore because I love chocolate. And I think as well, when you're told you can't have something, you want it even more. So I've tested out a ton of different chocolate, and I picked some of my favorites here to show you that are my favorite chocolate alternatives. So very top of my chocolate alternative list is the most expensive as well. These are truffles from Bouger chocolates. You literally get 9 chocolates in this pack, which is hardly anything, and they are £7, which I think is so extortionate. But I wanted to mention these ones because they taste so delicious. They're literally like melt in the mouth, and I just think that they're a really nice gift for somebody who might be dairy free but really loves their chocolate. It's kind of like a luxury one. I wouldn't be buying these every week. So onto a more affordable chocolate alternative. So this is my favorite dairy-free chocolate brand other than Bouger, and this is by a company called Nomo. So this is the plain creamy chocolate bar. They also do a sea salt one and a salted caramel, I think. But my favourite's actually the fruit and nut one, but it's not actually nuts in there. So it's nut-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. Moo-free is also a pretty good chocolate alternative. I would say that this does taste a little bit more artificial than the other ones that I've shown you. But I really like this one for cooking with. You can get dairy-free cooking chocolate, but I think it tastes disgusting. This one has been alright to bake with. It's really nice melted, so you can melt it over the top of things, and it does taste nice on its own as well, but it's not as nice as Nomo or Bouger. If you do like dark chocolate, then this one from Marks and Spencer's is divine. If you like chocolate orange, it tastes just like a chocolate orange but a little bit darker. It's made without dairy, and yeah, it's really tasty. It's got these like crystallized orangey salty things in the middle of it, and it's really tasty. The only thing is these are really expensive. I think they're like £1 or something, or maybe even more than that, and it's not really the biggest bar. A couple of other sweet treats if chocolate is not your thing. So dairy free and gluten free Naked bars are really tasty. This one is the Berry Delight, but my favorite is the blueberry muffin, but I don't have any to show you because I've eaten them all. But yeah, I think Naked are always a really good go-to for gluten free and dairy free snacks. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, which is a really nice sweet treat and also not too naughty is from Deliciously Ella, and it's the nut butter balls. This is the hazelnut ones, and they also do almond butter ones. So these are gluten-free and they're also vegan. So it says they're 2 balls of mixed dried fruit, hazelnuts and cacao filled with nut butter. So you literally bite into the middle and nut butter pours out. They are so good. I also wanted to show you something from a company that I see on Instagram all of the time, and I bought a bunch of their sauces thinking they were all going to be amazing. And it's the skinny syrup. I'm not really into the name. I don't think anything should actually be labelled skinny anything, but I was kind of sucked into it because I really wanted something to put on pancakes and porridge and things like that I knew would be dairy-free, gluten-free, all of that stuff. And it just so helps that these are 0 calorie as well. Now I must say, every single sauce I bought, and I bought about 6, maybe 8 different sauces, was disgusting. This one is actually tasty. This is the strawberry jelly one, but it's really thin. It's not like a jelly consistency. It's not even like a syrup consistency. It's more like a thick kind of juice consistency, which is a bit weird. So when you kind of squirt it onto your porridge, it doesn't really look that appetizing. It's a bit watery, but it does actually taste really nice, and it sweetens up your porridge as well. Like I said, it's 0 dairy, 0 gluten, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 fat. I don't actually know what is in these, but if you are into something like this, then yeah, this is the only one I tried that tasted good. Now, one of our go-to dinners in the week is fajitas, and when I found out I was dairy-free and gluten-free, I instantly thought, how on earth am I going to eat fajitas again? So I do cut out the cheese now because I don't really like any dairy-free cheese, which is why you won't see any in this haul, because I'm yet to find one that I enjoy. But Old El Paso, good old El Paso, do a gluten-free fajita kit. So there's no gluten in the wraps and there's no gluten in the powdered, what do you call it, seasoning. So yeah, this is perfect if you're gluten-free and you love fajitas. Now, I did say at the start of this video that I don't really like any gluten-free bread, or I haven't found any that I like yet, but I have found a gluten-free bagel that I really love. These are a recent find. I've literally had them for like a month now, but I really love them. They're by a company called Genius, and they just taste like regular bagels to me. I've never had one not toasted, so I don't know if toasting it makes a difference, but I just think they're really nice. I like putting mine with avocado and tomatoes and a bit of olive oil, and yeah, they kind of satisfy that need for something carby. Do excuse the state of the next 2 products. I am running low and I need to buy some more, but I wanted to show you because a lot of us in the UK eat pasta quite a lot, and again, I was really worrying when I became gluten-free that I wouldn't be able to have any pasta. But you know what, gluten-free pasta to me tastes exactly the same as normal pasta. I make it for all the family now because everyone just likes it. It tastes the same. This one I can definitely recommend. This is a Sainsbury's one. It's wheat-free, gluten-free, milk-free, egg-free and soy-free. It's made of rice and maize and quinoa flour. And like I said, I think it's exactly the same as normal pasta. The only difference is that I think it takes a little bit longer to cook. It says it takes 7 to 9 minutes, but I normally cook it for about 12 to 13 minutes. So this one looks like this, and it's called cassarice pasta. It's like kind of like a fancy twisted pasta. I must say that this one is probably a little bit chewier than normal pasta, so it's very al dente, but I really like pasta like that anyway. And again, it says it takes 5 to 7 minutes. It definitely takes about 13 to 14 minutes to cook through. Again, this is from Sainsbury's. Taste the difference, free from range. Another pasta I wanted to recommend is also from Sainsbury's, but it's not a Sainsbury's own brand. It's from a brand called Ugo Thrive, which I'd never heard of before, but I've bought this so many times now because I really love ravioli, and there's not a lot of free from raviolis around. This one is egg-free, dairy-free, nut-free, high in fibre, gluten-free, perfect for vegans. It's got pumpkin and sage, and I just find it really, really tasty. The only thing is, it comes in this absolutely huge packet with these little tiny pasta things, which is good because there's a lot there, but I find that because it's fresh pasta, it's quite hard to store. So normally when I get this, I will open it and put it into small little bags, like portion it out, and then I can like keep it separate rather than opening the pack and then it all going like dry and horrible. I tend to have porridge most days, but sometimes I just don't fancy porridge. So instead of porridge, I will have Nutribrex. So this is very similar to Weetabix, probably a little bit less tasty than Weetabix on its own, but if you add flavorings to it or toppings, then I think it tastes exactly the same. It's also a bit more expensive than Weetabix. I can't remember how much this was, but it was definitely like double the price of Weetabix, but you get quite a lot inside. But I wanted to recommend these because I know a lot of you have gluten-free children, and I know kids love Weetabix, so this is a very good alternative. So if you're like me and you love cheese and you like cheesy pastas and things like that, then I wanted to recommend this yeast flakes. These are vegan and they're from a brand called Engevita, I think this is. So I picked this up in Aldi actually ages ago, but you can get this in most supermarkets. So it's basically you add like a tablespoon of this to like cheese sauces minus the cheese, and it gives you like that cheesy taste. So I have this for pasta dishes mainly and for risottos as well. So this is new to my Free From collection and it's so tasty. It's from a company called Leon, who if you've not heard of before, they are a bit like a fast food chain. But they do really healthy food. They also do loads of gluten-free stuff and dairy-free stuff. So yeah, you have quite a lot of them in London. I don't know where else they have them at the moment. I really wish they had one where I live. But this is their mayo. It's vegan and certified gluten-free as well, and it's really, really tasty. So meat, luckily, is naturally gluten-free, but things like sausages aren't always gluten-free because a lot of brands will put in flour, like so wheat and things like that, to bulk them out or give them more flavour. So make sure you check your sausages. I always go for Heck sausages, mainly because I prefer chicken sausages anyway, because they're just much less fatty than pork ones. But Heck sausages, even the pork ones, are all gluten-free and they come with a little label on the front to tell you. So I really like to make pancakes at the weekend, and of course that means I need to use gluten-free baking powder and gluten-free flour. I've tried a few and believe it or not, they are all really different, and the Free From gluten-free, wheat-free, gluten-free, milk-free, egg-free, soy-free flour from Sainsbury's is my favourite. So well done for watching this until the end, guys. I know that was a pretty long video, but like I said, so many of you have been so interested in some Free From alternatives. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you did. Give it a thumbs up so I know that you liked it, and let me know if you want me to do any sort of like gluten-free or dairy-free meal ideas, or anything like that, or any other video requests. Let me know, and I will see you soon. Bye.